Yo ho, a pirate's life for me and for you too. Congratulations, you found your way to the treasure box. This is no ordinary treasure box though. This video box contains everything that you need to plan a successful St. Augustine field trip for your students and chaperones. My name is Scott York and I'm the owner of Sea America Tours, and I've been helping teachers just like you plan their St. Augustine adventures for the past 34 years. We've assembled the absolute best team of tour guides, attractions, and hands-on activities to reach those young minds in a whole new way. Hey, over here. We all know that students learn differently than we did growing up, and our St. Augustine experiences are designed to reach the youth of today in a fun, educational, and entertaining way. Welcome to St. Augustine, the nation's oldest continually occupied city of European origin in the continental United States. We are a city of diversity, from the Castillo de San Marcos and the oldest wooden schoolhouse. We celebrate what makes St. Augustine special. Different voices, different experiences, and different cultures, all joined together to create a vibrant, inclusive city like no other. During this virtual field trip, we want to challenge you to dream. Dream of the past, dream of the present, and dare to dream of the endless possibilities of tomorrow. All it takes is one small dream to change the world. You know, I remember coming on this very same field trip with my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Moultrie, and her taking us through the fort and telling us what she knew about St. Augustine. That trip inspired my passion for history, and I want to help you provide that same experience for your students today. Welcome to one of my favorite places in St. Augustine, the Castillo de San Marcos. Founded in October of 1672, the Castillo is more than 340 years old. My friends, this is the real deal. The Castillo is a remarkable structure. It holds many secrets and has many stories to tell, if only you will listen. Follow us as we explore this truly remarkable national monument.
The Castillo was built for defense of the town and for storage of goods. It was not built as a prison, as many people think. In fact, it was built with only one small detention room to temporarily house the occasional unruly soldier.
Take a look at these stairs that show the wear and tear of booted feet traveling up and down them for hundreds of years. Now, imagine what this place was like hundreds of years ago. No highways, no cars, no tall buildings or electricity. In that silence, listen to the voice of the past. Right here, surrounded by breathtakingly beautiful land and water, Spanish soldiers labored to build the coquina fortress that would be called the Castillo de San Marcos. The blacksmith was an important person in St. Augustine. As St. Augustine did not have the natural resources to make iron and steel, the blacksmith had to rework old metal into nails, cooking utensils, tools, hooks, and chains. He was also the local locksmith. The blacksmith usually had a young apprentice who worked with him, learning the trade. That apprentice was usually in charge of the bellows, ensuring that the coals were kept red hot. Boys usually started their apprenticeship at the age of 8, and it lasted until age 14.
I doubt any of you have a watchtower like this in your community unless you live in a state park. A watchtower like this was common in early colonial St. Augustine. A constant watch was kept to ensure the safety and security of this small community. If an enemy was sighted, an alert would go out to warn the townspeople of the impending danger. After the Castillo de San Marcos was built, a bell was hung in the northeast bastion, which, when rung, signaled to the townspeople to run to the Castillo as fast as possible. The watchtower was very important to the security of this tiny Spanish town.
So here in the Pirate Museum, we talk about the likes of Calico Jack, Henry Morgan, Anne Bonny, Mary Read, even Sir Francis Drake. But one of my favorite pirates is Bartholomew Roberts, known as Black Bart. One of the reasons I like him so much is because he had a way about him, and he had his crew's loyalty for 38 months. That was 8 months past the normal lifespan for most pirates, which was only 24 to 30.
Having worked with fourth grade teachers for so many years, we understand how busy your lives are, and we want to be able to take some of that workload off of you to help make this the best field trip ever. I don't know about you, but I've worked up an appetite. Let's go to lunch.
Welcome to the Spanish Military Hospital Museum. Behind me is an exact reconstruction of Hospital East that stood here during the Second Spanish period, which runs 1784 through 1821. Across the street would have been Hospital West of the military complex. Sadly, that burned to the ground in 1811. Our Hospital East was reconstructed in 1964. Welcome to the ward room. In this room, the culmination of the assimilated knowledge of many cultures really shines. We can see the Royal Spanish military regulations for hospital care firsthand. Every patient has his own bed, his own commode, which is just another way of saying toilet. Those commodes were emptied and cleaned after every use, then filled with lavender, a natural antiseptic to refresh the air. Every patient had his own cup, spoon, and plate. He also had his own candle, so he was never left in the dark. This is the apothecary. It's sort of like what you might call a pharmacy today. But remember, this is a medical facility in a Spanish colonial outpost in 1790. Most supplies were brought by ship. If a ship did not arrive, the apothecary or pharmacist would have to make do with what he could find. Many times, he listened to the native peoples in the area, seeking advice from the knowledgeable elders as to their remedies for ailments passed down and interwoven into their culture. And most times, these remedies worked. Take a close look at these bottles and what's inside of them. In the 1700s, the apothecary used natural ingredients. By now, I hope you're beginning to see how it took many cultures with their own unique knowledge and traditions to bring medical care to the standard that is demonstrated in this museum. The Muslim Moors, the Eastern European Jews, the Spanish Catholics, and finally the Timucuan native peoples were all willing to share their knowledge that ultimately saved the lives of military men in this far-off outpost called St. Augustine.
Wow, that virtual field trip is a whole lot of fun. But that's nothing compared to our in-person experiences. So let's get started planning your field trip right now. The very first step is to scan the QR code on the back of this video box, then head over to the Teacher's Lounge and select the package of your choice and the date that you'd like to visit, and we'll take it from there. We hope that you'll check out our YouTube channel with all kinds of great educational resources at See America Tours. Now that you found this field trip in a treasure box, it would mean the world to us if you could share it with any other teachers that you might know who would love a cool adventure like this for their students too.